Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Allison, and joining me today is Amanda.
Hi.
And we are both safe at home still. And we hope that you're doing well with your staying at home as well. Um, I know that with the weather being as silly as it's been lately, little bit of everything. I've been trying to find time to go outside whenever it's sunny. Right now it's snowing out my window.
Good luck with that. If sun is
Right.
no.
So the last really nice day that I could think of was Saturday, and I went for a nice long run on Saturday. And I was so excited to hear all of the sounds of spring, hearing all the birds and hearing the frogs calling. And one of the coolest things that I got to see on Saturday was an osprey carrying a branch to a cell phone tower for its nest. It was really exciting. They're one of my favorite birds, and they make a huge nest. I think we have a picture of one that we'll pull up.
Yeah.
So they're a bird of prey, and they make a very large nest. They will return to the same spot year after year to will rebuild or add on to their nest as long as it's still there. They use large branches for the majority of their nest. They usually nest on tall places in open areas close to water. They are a bird of prey that eats fish. They winter in Central and South America, and over their lifetime, they will fly over 160,000 miles between their trips going down for the winter and then coming back up for the spring and summer. And so in Ohio, our osprey are nesting now. Some of them are repairing their nests, but some of them are already sitting on eggs. And the reason for that is it takes a long time to raise a bird of prey. So we'll get a good look at an osprey, and we'll get to see a baby osprey as well in our next picture. So you can see that they have that sharp hook-shaped beak. They have those yellow eyes. Osprey always kind of look a little bit surprised and startled. And the baby osprey is sitting in the nest right next to its parent. Now, the baby osprey hatches from its egg after the parent incubates that egg for 36 to 42 days. So that's over a month. That's a pretty long time. Then, once that baby is hatched, it takes a while for that baby to be able to leave the nest. They stay as a nestling for about another 50 days. During that time, they lose those baby feathers. So you can see looking at the baby osprey that its feathers are fluffy. They're not the same kinds of feathers that their parents have. So they lose those feathers and grow in their new adult feathers. They grow much larger, and they start to learn how to fly. But after they learn how to fly, their parents aren't quite done. The baby osprey, once it knows how to fly, it has to learn how to hunt. And hunting for an osprey is kind of elaborate. So we have a video of how the osprey hunts. So you can see just how intricate and how they have to do so many different things. They're hunting from the sky, and they have to dive in, grab a slippery fish with their feet, and then take right back off and fly back to a safe place to eat that. Their feathers keep them warm and dry, and they help them to fly. So they have to shake all the water off of their feathers as they're flying. They also turn that fish to face the direction that they're going so that they don't create any more drag as they're flying. There we go. I could watch them fish all day long. One of a great place to go and see them is Wallborn Reservoir or Deer Creek, and you can watch them hunting for the entire day,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it's always a special treat.
Mhm.
Now they're hunting, they're doing that from the sky, so they have to see the fish, they have to catch the fish, and I don't know about you, but I am not a great fisherman, fisherwoman, fisher person. I'm not good at catching fish.
No.
Osprey catch their fish about once every 4 times, and an average hunting session that results in them catching a fish, so that can include those 4 times, is 12 minutes long.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever caught a fish in the first 12 minutes of fishing.
No.
So it's a skill that they have to develop. So they have to teach those babies how to hunt, and they have to do it before the fall, before it gets too cold and the water freezes over and there's no place for them to fish,
Right.
which is pretty amazing.
That is.
So I love to talk about osprey because I love their nests. Their nests are so big, and it's always a great starting place when you're talking about nests to look at something that's really big. But bird nests aren't always huge. All birds make a nest. They need a safe place to raise their babies. They need a safe place to lay their eggs to protect them, and then a place where they can incubate those eggs. So keep them warm so the baby inside can grow and develop and then hatch. But birds only use those nests in the spring and the summer. They don't really use them in the wintertime. They're not their house. They're just the place where they raise their babies. And birds' nests look different depending on the kind of bird that builds them. So we have a video that shows some different nests in some interesting places that we'll take a look at.
Birds. They're elegant, graceful, but birds are also funky. Some look funky, some move funky, and did you know that some live funky? All around you, birds are building funky nests. Maybe you've seen them. Nests in your car, on your Christmas lights, those old shoes you forgot about, or maybe you just haven't looked yet. Join the Funky Nests in Funky Places Challenge and tell us about the nests around you.
Perfect. So birds build nests in all sorts of different places. If it is a place that they think is going to be a safe place to raise their babies, that's where they're going to build that nest. And a good nest is also around a place where those birds can get the right kinds of food they need. Especially when they're raising babies, there's a ton of need for food. You're feeding yourself, you're feeding your mate, and you're feeding all of those hungry little mouths. So as you can see, not every bird nest looks alike. And birds can use all of those nests a little bit differently. Sometimes one parent will do all of the incubating. So like the osprey, the female osprey sits on the eggs all the time. She's the only one who incubates. But the male helps out. He brings food back and forth. And then they both take turns feeding those babies. But birds like the kestrel, which is a little falcon, they both take turns incubating those eggs. And then birds like red-winged blackbirds, the dad just defends the territory and the mom does all of the work. So it really depends on the species. A great way to see a lot of different species and a lot of different types of nests is through nest cameras. Because bird nests are in safe places where a bird feels safe to raise those babies, they're not always in a place where we can get a good look at them and get to see what's going on. So these cameras allow us to get a good look at what's going on in nests. So this is the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, and they have nest cameras all over the country, and you can see all sorts of different nests. I like to use this to compare how different birds act, what resources different birds need, and just as a cool way to get to see lots of different birds and lots of different fuzzy cute babies.
Excellent.
So as you look at those nests, you'll notice that some of them are made out of different things. And some of those nests are in different places. Some of those nests might be in a hole in a tree. Some of those nests might be a nest made of sticks that's in a tree. It could be a nest made of mud. Some birds, one of the cameras is of an albatross, and their nests are on the ground. My favorite nest camera is the Savannah Osprey nest. Their first baby just hatched the other day, so it's going to be really exciting to see it. But remember, as you're watching these cameras, these are live birds. They're living out in the wild, so you never really know what you're going to get a chance to see. Sometimes the birds might not be in the view of the camera. Sometimes they might have a special snack.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know what you're going to see on those live cameras.
No. Mm-mm.
So birds make their nests out of different materials. So like the osprey, they use sticks and branches. A bird like an oriole will use grasses. One of the birds in the video that we saw was a hummingbird, and the hummingbirds make their nests out of spider webs and little lichens. So depending on the size of the bird, it's going to tell you a little bit about what kinds of materials they might use. Their habitat's going to tell you what type of materials they might use. And then certain species have certain things they like to use in their nests. So we have a video of a tufted titmouse, which is Amanda's favorite bird.
Adorable.
And he's gathering some unique nesting materials.
Our dog is asleep still, and this bird has been coming back to her several times a week to pluck fur from her hind end.
So cute.
Very industrious, just gathering a lot. Just probably smart. You never know when that source is going to move.
No, you really don't. You harvest when you can. Yeah.
So this bird will use that to line the inside of their nest. Oh, but there he goes. It'll use that fur to line the inside of their nest. That will help to trap more warmth there, but also to keep it nice and soft. Every time we go to the grocery store, when we buy eggs, you don't usually put it at the bottom of something, right? You're always putting it on top because those eggs are fragile. And a tufted titmouse's egg is much smaller, but it's not any less fragile than a chicken egg. So they want to make sure it's nice and soft and cushioned.
Yeah.
Now, nests, baby birds, when they hatch from their eggs, they will spend some time in their nest. They will spend the time in the nest that they need to in order to be big enough and able to start to move around outside of the nest on their own. So as the baby bird as they grow, they get a little bit too big and they can't all fit in that nest. So some baby birds will leave their nest. Most baby birds will leave the nest before they're truly ready to be on their own. And the reason for that is because they're too big. And they have to start developing some skills to be able to live on their own out in the wild without their parents. So we have a video of a blue jay family that these blue jays have just left the nest. And we'll see some of the things that they have to do. So you can see that these two blue jays, their feathers are a little fluffier. You'll see that their tails don't quite look right. They're still growing in some of their adult feathers, but they're much too large to stay in that nest and much too active. These two right now are preening. They're doing a little bit of preening themselves, a little bit of preening each other, and they're helping to keep those feathers in great shape. Birds' feathers keep them warm, they help them to fly, and they keep them dry. So if those feathers aren't in good shape, that bird's not going to be able to stay very healthy or do all of the things that it needs to do. So they spend a long time cleaning and taking care of those feathers. They also have to start exploring the world around them. So these blue jays now, they're looking and trying to figure out what they can eat and what different branches are and starting to explore.
So curious.
Now, Now, it may seem like these two blue jays are alone in the world, but their parents are nearby. Their parents are they're coming back and they're feeding them, they're keeping an eye on them, keeping them safe from predators, while these birds are learning skills to help them survive on their own. They have to strengthen muscles. I'm a runner and I run marathons every once in a while. And I can't just pick up today and go run one. I have to train. I have to build up my muscles. I have to build up all of my strength so that I can do that. And birds are no different. Flying takes a lot of energy. If their muscles aren't strong enough, they're not going to be able to do that. Now, baby birds, even out of the nest, spend a lot of time sleeping as they're growing and developing. Right? They're learning how to vocalize and how to get the attention of other birds in ways other than their baby begging calls. In the background, you can hear some of their parents calling just to let them know that they're still around. They can call to their parents and make their begging calls so their parents know to bring them food. There's something very interesting on that branch. So here we're going to get to see some of their begging behavior. Got to be the loudest baby to get the most food. So spreading those wings out and opening their mouth, that's exactly how they behave inside the nest to get that food. So they're doing those things still outside. I know in the spring, as over the next few weeks, you might start seeing that on the ground because sometimes if you try to fly, you end up falling. And they end up on the ground and they're able to get back up into trees. But sometimes you're on the ground and you're hungry, so you start begging for food. And it can look like those birds they're injured and they need help, but they truly do not. Their parents are around to help take care of them.
Yes.
So we're going to start seeing all of those things very, very soon. My task for you today is to look for nests. Birds are already starting to build nests, and not just birds that are as big as our osprey. I actually just discovered a bird's nest on my porch the other day. My husband and I bought a house on our honeymoon, and it's been hanging up there for 4 years. And no one has been interested in it. But I looked inside yesterday and I saw that there were some hungry mouths in there. So it's very exciting. So I hope that you explore, you look for nests. You may find nests that are being built now, but you may also discover some nests that were built last year. This is a great time to look for those nests because the leaves are not on the trees. Yeah. So share with us what you find. I would love to see any pictures, and if you have any questions, we can try and figure it out.
Yeah, that'd be great to see those.
Yeah. So we want you to share what you find, and we will see you next time. So thank you so much, Amanda, for joining me and helping me out with navigating through our videos and pictures. And thank you to all of you for listening and watching along today. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.